I wanted to, Guy and I both want to talk to you because if there's ever a time of stressful mental illness, and some of you who even serve the Lord are struggling and going through it, before we talk about it, I do want to state times do change, the food changes, the environment changes. So different generations can experience things a lot harder than others because all things are not equal. There are more pressures on most of you than when I grew up and when my parents grew up. And the things that many of them went through and that I went through, most of you are incapable of going through. You have such a greater preponderance of pressure on you coming from all directions. That's not saying, notwithstanding, that you have any less the opportunity to bear it and endure it, to get through it and overcome it, because God hasn't changed. So, though the pressures may have increased, right? And they are in a larger proportion than in my generation, God is the same. And no amount of environmental changes or cultural changes can exceed God's capacity for us to navigate it and to handle it because God hasn't changed. Therefore, men and the things of men and the things of society are not greater than God. So God meets every generation where they're at. But from a personal point of view, you can say, yes, but you didn't have this, Steve. You didn't have that guy. You didn't have that many things. True, but it wouldn't make any difference if I did because my faith was conditional to the environment and the dispensation in which I lived. He's not giving me faith for a time that I don't live. He's not giving me faith for a time from my past or a time from my future. He's giving me the faith and the ability and the power for the time that I'm in. So God is in every moment. So rather you think it's going to get better in the future or rather it was worse in the past, really doesn't matter, does it? Because you're in your moment at that moment. But God is the same, eternal. So I want to put that out there so that you don't start saying you can't relate because it was a different time. It doesn't matter. God, it was in a different God. It's the same God and the same power. So with that said, yes, right now, there's a great deal of you that are suffering great mental stress. Mental stress. And we had such an incident last night. Won't go into the details. But the war since October the 7th, and now what Israel is going through with this constant threat every second of a bomb, the panic. And most of you won't know anything about that. But it's nothing like anything that we have ever heard in America, particularly the sirens. Our tsunami sirens, our tornado sirens do not even match the level of intensity of a nation's national siren because of missiles. Can't not possibly imagine it. And they're going through a lot. The hospitalization, not from physical injury, from mental injury, shock. When you have a incident, it's mostly the shock. I've been in car accidents, many of you have. The shock of it can paralyze you, even if you didn't get terribly injured or not injured at all. That sound of that metal, that crunch, that moment, that instant bang, especially when it comes from the back and you're rear-ended, it takes a while for even a healthy person to get over that. Not a long time, but a while. So add that to people who already are mentally stressed and stretched. Maybe you're in the middle of one problem and all of a sudden you got another problem, or you have your own health issues, and then a family member is experiencing death, disease, and you had to suspend your energy when my sister died recently. It was very difficult because she was my closest family member. We had the best time talking about faith, and she's the only one in my family, besides my grandmother, that I could have a serious conversation, a sincere conversation, and we both equally had a passion and love for God. And now she's gone. And while I'm trying to take that in and absorb that loss, I get injured, a terrible injury, the type of injury that would have me incapacitated for nearly a year. It was horrible. Then, on top of that, I had a young man that I mentored in the military, and he has no family. And he was just out of boot camp, and he wanted to spend some time with me. And he was so excited. He's adopted me like a surrogate father to him. And he was so excited. And I thought to myself, I'm in no condition to, how am I going to be of any good to him? He wants to come and visit me for a few days, Father. I'm in no condition. Now, this was, of course, before the injury. This is just right when my sister had passed. But he had already put in his military leave, and it's very difficult to change things in a military like that. And I thought to myself, you got to be concerned with the living and not the dead. You can mourn your sister after. He's a living human being, and he wants to be around you. He wants to meet you. He wants to have encouragement. You're like a father figure to him, and he's excited about it. And he was so happy to visit me. And it was wonderful. But I had to make a decision. Is it more beneficial to consider the living than my sister who's passed right now in my mourning? I knew that my sister knew the Lord. I had a peace where she was at. I can mourn my sister. He wanted to extend his trip for a week or two, but because of the loss of my sister, I asked him, can we cut that in half and you can stay for 3 days, 4 days? How about that? Because that's all I think I'm capable of being able to offer and be a benefit to you emotionally. And so he came out. And before he left, I think it was 2 days before he left, on early morning walk for the sunrise at the beach. Wanted to see it, never seen it, and he wanted to see it. From the East Coast, he'd never seen it. Okay, we'll get up early. No one's around, and it's calm, no chaos. And in that morning walk, the air was wonderful. The clouds were floating by, the sun was rising, and he wanted to go and run. And after he ran, I decided, I think I haven't run in a while. I think I'll run. And I ran, and my foot on the return went into one of those little sand holes along the shore. And I snapped my, what you call the Achilles heel, the tendon. And serious? Now, I'm sure you've heard about Kobe Bryant's injury with that regard. People in sports are aware of it, particularly people in basketball. It was a serious injury. It was pretty serious. I won't go into the details. Well, that changed everything. That was a wrench thrown in the wheel. And from that moment, everything changed, not just for the remaining time of his visit with me, but for my remaining life for the next year. But I have the Lord. And I have the Lord healthily in my mind and my spirit. So I was able to bear it. Was it difficult? Yes. Stressful? Yes. Still trying to mourn the loss of my sister. But I could bear it. And I endured it. Moments where I'm crying before the Lord, crying out to the Lord. It's always good to cry before the Lord, calling on the name of the Lord, meditating, breathing, trying not to panic, hyperventilate is difficult. Friends encouraging me. Some came by to help me. One flew in to help me for a few days. And all of those little tiny little sparks of hope. That's what we're supposed to do. If you're crying out to the Lord, He's going to manifest through the people that know you. And the people that know you, if they're servants of the Lord, will do what they know they're supposed to do because they can see you in distress. That's the way it works. His hand doesn't come out of the sky like some giant mystical thing in a Marvel movie. You are his hands. You are his feet. You are the resource for the people in need, especially when you are aware of it and you know it. And it's an encouragement. Zabel. But for those who are not spiritually as healthy, mentally as healthy, that's a whole another can of worms, as they say. People who are unable to grasp, people who do not have the discipline of walking in a pattern, a relationship with the Lord, people who are not accustomed to calling out to the Lord, people who don't have people in their lives because they have not built relationships of people in the Lord, even if they built relationships with people in a church or religion, but not in the Lord. That's not uncommon. And that's what Paul addressed. Have people in church, I'll pray for you. You should have more people doing for you than saying they'll pray for you. But in the modern world, 90% and the default will all be, I'll pray for you. What can I do for you should be what you should say. And that's only if you don't know. Sometimes it's enough for you to hear that somebody's in distress and just show up. Make yourself available. Faith without works is dead. And prayer without feet and knees and hands and action is useless. When you have in your power the ability, the scripture says, do it. Now, when you have no power, no ability, not the will, because you could will it. You could have done, you could have shown up, you could have helped, you could have canceled a day at work. You could have done a lot of things that you've canceled for drugs and alcohol and women and sports and all vacations, but you could do those things for the work of God, but you choose not to. But if you're unable, Father, there's nothing I can do. I can't get to them. I don't have anybody that I can send to them like they did in the building of the wall in the book of Nehemiah. Is there anybody I could send to them? I'm going to pray. When you're at a loss of all options to intervene, interject, intercede, Father, there's no one I know. I can't get to him. When my nephew was struggling, he's passed away. He was shot as a young man in North Carolina, but he came out to California and he was in Central California and he had some sort of emergency. I didn't even know he was in California. Came out here on some sinful trajectory. I have no idea. I didn't know the details why he was here, following a girl, doing something with somebody that he shouldn't have been doing. Anyway, he was in a dire situation. But he remembered I lived in California. Now, he was basically 4 to 6 hours away from me. But he called in the middle of the night. What could I do? You're 4 to 6 hours away from me. I didn't even know you were here. And I hung up the phone and I started calling churches. And the best churches to call in a situation like that are Catholic churches. They are more hands-on, the evangelicals and Christian churches. Catholics have always been more hands-on in the grit and the dirt of the ministry, not a Bible study or some get-together marshmallow mess with a guitar. Catholics have always been known, regardless of the theological differences, what they do practically is hands-on. They get in the ghetto, they get in the gutter, they physically get involved in helping. Very common that you'll notice amongst the priests, the nuns, and the lay people in the Catholic Church. And I said, well, let me call her Catholic priest. Those are the people. They're rushed downtown to help that prostitute. They're rushed downtown to help that drug addict. They're rushed downtown to help that homeless, much more than your evangelical churches and organizations will. And that's exactly what happened. And I called that father, and in the middle of the night, he got up, never met me, only knew me on the phone, told him who I was, and told him what the situation was. Gave him the details about my nephew. And that Catholic priest got up, never met my nephew, never met me. But he had a sensitivity to the call on his life to even non-Catholics. Doesn't matter. And it was helpful. And it made a difference. Do you see, when you're not able, and you don't even have the knowledge to do that, then you say, not by might, not by power, but by my spirit, as Zerubbabel said. Meaning, it won't be by anything that I'm not capable. I'm out of touch. I have no one to call. I don't even know who to call. I feel at my wit's end. Father, by your spirit. And those are those supernatural moments that are rare because they really are not needed as much if you're doing what you're supposed to do. But those are those rare moments where the prophet is fed by a bird because there was no one to feed him, as opposed to the prophet being fed by the woman with her son, because there was, in that case, someone to feed him. You see, there are moments where Papa uses whatever mechanism is at that time, the means and process by which he's going to help you. And that's why in the last days, he says, don't say, you didn't see me hungry, you didn't see me naked, you weren't aware. Yes, you were. You just chose it. That was me. That child, that person, that was me. And by the way, when you do that, don't count what you do. And don't ever tell somebody you've done enough. Imagine saying that to God. Imagine God saying that to you. You've done enough. Have you loved your wife enough? Have you given her gifts enough? Has she given you gifts enough? When is enough? When that person's no longer alive. Death to you part. The race is to the end. There's no such thing as enough when it's who you are. It's whenever the need may come. Just like you and your prayers. Enough? How many prayers has God answered that you don't even know about without you asking? How many dangers has God prevented from you? How many judgments has he turned away that you have no idea? You already should be dead and gone and been judged for the sins and the wickedness that you lived before you allegedly gave your life to the Lord. But he gave you mercy and grace. It wasn't just that moment when you came to your senses to be able to see some semblance of his mercy and grace and think, oh, that's where it started. Oh, no. The fact that you were able to come to the Lord in a moment of repentance means that you were receiving mercy and grace in all of your wickedness. The prodigal could have died in all of his wickedness away from his home, but mercy and grace. Some do die, by the way. Some do die in their sins. Some do die in the pig's pen. Some don't make it back. It's like the war. Some die in the trenches, on the battlefield, on the barbed wire. Some make it back. But grace was given, especially in mercy, as destined by God. Why does it really matter? If you survived the war and you've survived your sin and you didn't die in your sin as so many have, you took that one drug and you didn't overdose. Many have taken the drug for the first time, overdosed and died. Not because they were addicts, but because they tried it once. They opened that door. It only takes one time to kill you, not multiple times. One time to get drunk and kill somebody and kill yourself. And many of you have been drunk many times and have not yet killed someone and have not yet killed yourself. Grace and mercy. You have a debt that you can never repay. So if you're alive now and you're able to hear this podcast, you have a debt you can never repay. And that's what makes you a servant, a bond servant of God, because it's an unpayable debt. Therefore, I'm your man now. I'm your man, Lord. I have an unpayable debt. There's no amount of interest I can pay to get rid of it. I have an unpayable debt. Therefore, I belong to you. I am now your servant. Mental illness and stress makes us tools of God to be servants, to help those who are in need, to help those who are suffering, to help those who cannot help themselves, unable to help themselves, rather is physically, financially, mentally. Bear the burden, bear that cross. The Lord will do the same for you. Ever been in a hospital with somebody who's an invalid, can't help themselves, and you have to feed them? The babies can't help themselves. Do you complain about feeding them? Do you complain about wiping their butts, changing their diapers, getting up in the middle of the night when they're screaming and crying? You'll do it for a baby. You won't do it for your father. You won't do it for your mother. You won't do it for your sister. You won't do it for your brother. You won't do it for a fellow believer. What's wrong with you? What about the Samaritan? You won't do it for the stranger. That's real faith. Do you guys hear me? Not all of your theological meanderings. Real faith now. Your mother's on her deathbed. Your grandmother's on her deathbed. Your father's on a deathbed. You're sitting there asking theological questions? Real faith has teeth, has feet, has hands, has presence of mind. Has a man giving you water, giving you food, picking you up, carrying you on his back like a battle buddy on a battlefield. Real faith. Somewhere, somebody's lonely. Somewhere. You see, people are in need. Every day they pass me by. I can see it in their eyes. Empty people filled with care. A homeless man on the street. In cardboard boxes, the homeless sleep. Should we care? So many people, so many hurting. Let them be free. That's our ministry. That's the sign of your conversion. That's the sign of your faith. It is impossible to be a man or woman of God and not have God's compassion on his creation. Quoting scriptures and singing songs is not the fruit or the testimony of who you are. It's not a kippah on your head. It's not a tzitzit on your waist. It's not a cross, definitely, around your neck. It's not a tattoo. It's actionable. You can see it. The neighbors will know it. The people in the grocery stores will know it. The people in your office will know it. Yes. Nothing like a real believer. So the stress of what's happening in Israel, do you care? Guy's sister, Guy's mother, the incident last night, the shock of what happens, do you care? Or do you only care when it's your baby? Do you only care when it's your father? And of course, you're supposed to do that for your baby. And of course, you're supposed to do it for your father. But even the unbelievers do that. You were the born again man. You were the born again woman. Who are my mother and who are my brethren, but those that do the will of my Father? The stranger, the foreigner. You only help people that deserve it. Then God just stop helping you. When will you ever deserve it? Repent. Teshuvah. Just do what's right. As he told Mary, get up. Stop what you're doing. And he never used the word try.
Sometimes when you're going through it, it's hard to see a way out of it. But I want Israel to know today, our brothers and sisters in the Middle East, that God sees you, God loves you, and if you call on him, he'll deliver you out. Somewhere, somebody's lonely. Somewhere, spirits are low. Someone's heart is broken, yeah, filled with pain and war. Oh, Lord, I don't know where, but I'm sending you there. Please touch somebody right now. Somewhere. Somewhere there is so much confusion. Somewhere sorrow is high. Someone's heart is wounded, and I don't know why, but oh Lord, I don't know when, but I'm sending you there. Please touch somebody right now. I know that you can if you will, Lord. Somewhere, somewhere, somebody needs your hand. And if you touch right now, I know they'll understand. There is no battle, no right now. I know that you can if you will, Lord. Somewhere, listen, somewhere, somebody needs your hand, Lord. And if you touch right now, I know they'll understand. There is no battle, no battle you have not won. You have not won. What you can't do, what you can't do, just can't be done. Oh, Lord, I don't know when or where. I don't know when, but I'm sending you there. I'm sending you there. I don't know who. I don't know who, but I know you'll come through. I know you'll come through. I don't know when, but I know you'll come in. Lord, I know you will. I don't know who, I don't know when, but I know you'll come through. I know you'll come through, Jesus. I don't know when, but I know you'll come in. Please touch somebody right now. Right now, Lord. Somewhere. Woo! Somebody needs your hand. And if you touch them right now, Lord, I know they'll understand. There is no battle, no battle you have not won. You have not won. What you can't do, what you can't do, just can't be done. Lord, I don't know where, I don't know when, but I'm sending you there. I know you'll be there. I don't know when, I don't know, but I know you'll come in. I don't know who, I don't know who, but I know you'll come through. I know you'll come through. Please touch us, Lord. Please touch. We need your hand of mercy. Please touch. We need your amazing grace. Somebody right now, 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 somewhere. Lord, we need you now. We need you now. So much to carry, so many worries. Is it our burden? Should we have to care for somebody's brother, somebody's sister, maybe their mother? Got to be someone other than the someone they care for. So many wonder how much longer will we have to bear? So many burdens and hurting people. Should we care?
young life and all of their innocence behind, while their dreams are dying, so few of them trying, just living the fast life, just to get a thrill. So many wonder, how much longer will we have to bear? Oh, they ask, so many burdens, hurting people. Should we care? So many problems, how do we solve them? Do we dare? Someday is never. Today is better. To reach out and care. Are you my brother? Am I your keeper? Should I care? Oh, open your eyes to see those who need you. Open your ears so you can hear their voice. Words of compassion can change their condition. Reach out to touch them, to show them that you care. So many wonder, how much longer do we have to bear? So many burdens and hurting people. Should we care? So many problems, how do we solve them? Do we dare? Someday is never. Today is better. To reach out and share. Oh yeah. Are you my brother? Am I your keeper? Should I care? Live them up, love them up, give them love, everyone. Should we care? Give them love. You are my brother, and I am your keeper. You are my sister, no matter what the race or creed is. Together we can solve the problem, help each other bear the burdens when we care. So much to carry, so many worries, Is it our burden? Should we have to care? So many places, so many faces. Every day I see, everywhere I go, people who need the Lord. In cardboard boxes, the homeless sleep. On the streets, our children weep. Brothers killing brothers and sisters too. Broken families, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? The love of God, how deep, is so wonderful. Just to know His love, what a miracle. I just can't understand why some say no to God. Some trust in money, some trust in foolish things, but I put my trust in Jesus. He's my King. He's a friend to the friendless. He's a mother and father too. And He wants to love you. He's just waiting for you. He's just waiting for you. The love of God, how deep, it's so wonderful. Just to know His love, what a miracle. I just can't understand how some say no to God. The love of God, how deep, it's so wonderful. Just to know His love, what a miracle. I just can't understand why some say no to God. The love of God, how deep, it's so wonderful. Just to know His love, what a miracle. I just can't understand why some say no to God. I just can't understand why some say no to God. Don't say no to God. Don't say no to God. He's calling you.